Welcome back to the channel. I do Agri, and this is the tour of our farm. I'm going to start here at the entrance. You will notice a lot of green trim, green gates, a lot of green. But we have the Agri here to the left, and we'll just walk around here and show you the front of the farmhouse. We've always used a temporary electric fence to keep the animals off the front lawn there. It works most of the time, you know. But there's the farmhouse. I'll give you a look at the fields towards the end of the video, because maybe not everyone wants to see the fields. I'll show you the yard first. But always go in this gate, give it a bit of a boot. And this is the yard, the backyard. We have some sheds here. We call this the laundry room because just we used to have laundry machines in it, but not anymore. It's more just storage now. Whatever storage, dose and stuff, sprayer. We have the big taro sprayer stored there as well. The wraps from the bales, and a barrel of nuts for the cattle in there as well. Close that up again. I have some timber that I chopped a few weeks back, a month and a half ago. This one we call the barn. Again, just storage, and we'd either have turf or some briquettes, or we have the timber there. Obviously, we have a lot of timber that needs splitting, and we'd have the smaller stuff over in that corner, but a lot of timber there that needs to be split. But yeah, that's the barn. We just call this the tool shed, because it's the tool shed. But oil, chainsaw, usual stuff on the farm, brooms, rakes, shovels, pitchforks, axes, saws. Oh. That's the tool shed. Here we have the cow cabins, but on the left used to be a horse stable, and the right was the cow cabin, alright. But I'll just show you inside the two of them as well. You can see there used to be, or there still is, the hay racks for the horses, and there used to be a dividing wall there in the middle, but myself and my grandfather tore it down the start of this year, back in spring, because the two spaces were just too small for a cow and a calf. It would be very easy for the cow to injure the calf, so we just decided to tear that down. And it'd be a lot safer and more useful for us that way, you know. This is the cow cabins. Bit of a bigger room, and 3 mangers there for obviously way too dark, but 3 mangers there for feeding cattle, bit of hay or silage. The back door there leads to a patch of concrete. They can go in and out if we have that open. Feed them a bale of silage out the back even, and they can go in there at night if they want to. But at the back of the house, and we have the door there for the garden. I will show you the garden later, but we will go back here. Now out here, bit of storage. I did a bit of cleaning on this lately, but you'll notice a stack of old cubicles there. The trailer, obviously. I'll show you the portable crush there in a minute, but this is our 3-bay hay shed. So, stand back. 3-bay hay shed. I've been parking the case 4213 there lately because that's the only place it'll fit. We have about 50 bales of hay there stacked in the back, and our new Morangan mower there in the front. That has done wonders. We have a little bit of tweaking to do on it if we keep it next year, but my grandfather was talking about possibly trading it in for a conditioner mower, so we'll see about that, if that's possible or not. Then we have this other bay on the hay shed that we call the cubicles, because it used to be cubicles, alright, very briefly, but you'll see the steel there along the wall. It was made into cubicles by my grandfather. I forget what year, but they were found to be very unsafe pretty quickly, and a friend of the family's cut them out, and it was never really cubicle since. But we do often use it for animals, for calving, or if we had a few sheep, it would be a great spot for a few sheep. But I was using it for a few welding projects this year, and obviously now I have the hay bobber in there. And a few things. The bull and the heifer are still outside. And we will go around here to the slatted shed. That's just another entrance to the cubicles there. But here is our 3-bay slatted shed. I'm not too sure, but I believe it's an 8-foot or 10-foot deep tank. But the majority of our cattle are in there now for the winter. We have the two, as I just pointed out, outside, and the rest of them are in there, chomping through plenty of silage. No bother to any of them. We have we've kept on the bullocks. So we have from the sucklers. Oh, mine. Sorry. We kept on the bullocks, and we sold on the Wayland heifers. So there's 6 cows there and 6 calves, and then there's 3 younger ones there, 2 heifers, and the cow there in the back that we are going to sell fairly soon. But we also always park the Massey Ferguson there just to give the cows a bit more shelter on that end from the wind and the rain, and also give the tractor itself a bit of shelter, because the roof does leak a small bit, the old sunroof. But that's the slatted shed. Here is portable crush that I made last year. Has a calving gate on the side and a head gate there on the front with the telescopic bar there. Very handy. Came in very, very useful. It was very cheap, obviously without the galvanization and everything. It was very cheap to make, and since we don't have the best crush already, it did come in very handy at times for calving, for when cows weren't sucking on the mother. Many times we've used it, and we will keep using it, but it does need a little bit of work. And I would like to get a small sandblaster or something and sandblast it and paint it again. That's the main thing I want to do, because obviously I just left it get a bit rusty. But we're at the back of the barns here, and this is our haggard where we store our silage, and we just protect it there with the pallets, obviously. But we have the haggard and our crush here, fairly old crush. I put up a new back gate there again, but it really needs a bit more work than that. It definitely needs a new sculling gate up the front. But yeah, that's where we store our silage, and that gate will usually be closed. You let out the animals here, and you have a little area there to leave the animals again when you're doing testing or you're dosing or whatever you're doing. So that's the yard. Slats there. Like I have a bit more silage out there because that's 2 years old. That stuff, it was at the back of the haggard there, and I wanted to use it up first, so we put it out there. But yeah, that's the yard. We have another entrance to the farm here. So there's kind of one for the house and one for the farm here, with the double gates, handy for lorries and trailers and all sorts. But so yeah, we're back there on the road. That's the farmyard. I will now show you what the fields look like. So behind me is the pound, and it's a big ring made out of a 10-foot wide stone wall that used to be about 10 foot high as well. In there they used to keep men's cattle when they didn't pay rent to a landlord or they owed some sort of debt. They would keep the cattle in there until the debt was paid, obviously. Beside it we have one of the main meadows here near the farmhouse. We just call it the pound field, beside the pound. But that's a big part of the farm there, and a bit of history. Then you look to the other side. Over there we have a lohan that I can actually see is already flooded over. It floods every winter, just a little lake that floods every winter, but the rest of the land stays mainly dry. But yeah, there's a little pool that forms there, and behind the pound field there, behind that wall, is another lohan that is fenced off. It also fills with water from the big hill behind it as well. So that's that. We go over there, we have the garden that I'll show you in a minute. Obviously the farmhouse, the hay shed, the cow cabins. Off there is the roadside, but I'll go and I'll show you the garden. So this is the garden. Nice spot here beside the house. Great shelter with those evergreen trees. there. And it's a nice spot. We're thinking of getting bees next year and leaving a hive over there. But there is also a little cabin in the corner. We were going to put the few heifers with their calves in here, and the calves could go in there at night as well if they wanted to. But there's also that. I'll show you the other two main meadows up here beside the farmhouse. So this is a small little meadow, but one that we cut every year. Nice field to cut now, nice and square. But you can see that it's partially flooded over. And this is the Lohan I was pointing to earlier. I imagine there's a big lake of water in beyond those trees. We'll have a look. But yeah, that corner of the field doesn't do well, obviously, with the bit of flooding. But there is a massive amount of water in there at the minute. All sorts of birds and stuff in it. You can actually see an old tractor wheel there, very old tractor wheel. I was trying to get it out many years ago when I was younger. Didn't have a notion of getting it out, but might get it out one day with the front loader or something. The old tractor wheels would be nice on the front of a house or something, you know. Just cut them off, or just be interesting to see what that looks like anyway. But we have a mainly dry farm, but we do get bits of flooding. Who wouldn't with this kind of weather? Who wouldn't? But it was a good time to bring the cattle in, I reckon, because I did not see this the other day. But that's another meadow that we cut. So that's it for my farm tour. I really hope you enjoyed that video. Please let me know down in the comments below what you thought of my farm. Let me know if I missed anything here, and if you want to see something that I didn't show you on the farm, let me know down in the comments below, and hit that like button if you liked the video. I will see you next time. Thanks very much for watching. Good luck.